Hello children, how are you today? Let's get started with our history and geography class. So, open your book where we reached. We started with a new topic, natural hazards. So, what is a natural hazard? A natural hazard is an event that causes harm to people and the environment. So our first natural hazard, the topic was on tropical cyclones in Mauritius and Rodrigues. So let's continue on the page 81. We are going to read together the news, activity 1.1. Read the newspaper article below. We are going to read together. Tropical cyclone Dina. Intense tropical cyclone Dina passed north of Mauritius during the night of 21st January 2002. The center of the tropical cyclone was located at 50 kilometers of the island in the early morning. In the late evening of 21st January, the Mauritius Meteorological Service issued a Class 4 warning, the highest alert. It is reported that gusts reached 208 kilometers per hour and brought down trees. 2 deaths have been reported. It is feared that the cyclone has damaged sugarcane crops, one of the main sources of our economy. So this is a case study on the tropical cyclone Dina. We are talking here about what negative impact the cyclone has brought to Mauritius on 21st January 2002. So here we are talking about a cyclone warning class 4 and the gusts reach 208 kilometers per hour. So what has been the effect of the cyclone, which means trees have fallen down on the road. There have been deaths, people have lost their lives. Also, the cyclone has damaged sugarcane crops. So, sugarcane crops is a cash crop in Mauritius. So, when the cyclone has damaged sugarcane crops, it has brought also the it has brought a negative impact on our economy. So here you'll have to answer the question. I'm not going to answer the question for you. This is your homework. You're going to read the newspaper article again and then you're going to answer. Let us see the questions together. In what month did Dina affect Mauritius? So when you're going to read, you're going to find out. The Mauritius Meteorological Station issued a cyclone warning class 4. Have a class discussion and with the help of your teacher, try to find out when a class 4 warning is issued. So at home you can discuss with your parents, with your brothers and sisters about what you know about cyclone. Have you ever experienced a cyclone warning class 4? You're going to discuss and you're going to write down. Also find out when the other warnings are issued, class 1, 2 and 3. We are going to see later about the different cyclone warnings. Let us move on to exercise 3. What in the article shows that the tropical cyclone is a natural hazard? Natural hazard meaning it is going to harm the environment and the people. What in the article, for example, people have lost their lives, 2 deaths. Also, the cyclone has damaged sugarcane crops. Also, trees have been damaged, meaning trees in the environment have been damaged. Freebie, can you list and describe some of the ways a tropical cyclone affects Mauritius and Rodrigues? We are about to see the different ways. You're going to read and answer the questions. Let's move on. Okay, cyclone warnings. There was a question. There was a question which was asked on page 81, exercise 2. You're going to discuss when is cyclone warning class 4 issued and other warnings. So here we are going to discuss, we are going to read together. The cyclone warning system for Mauritius is established by the Mauritius Meteorological Services, which are found at Vakwa. They range from class 1 to class 4, depending on the probability of the storm affecting Mauritius. Class 1 is issued 36 to 48 hours before Mauritius is likely to be affected by a depression or a cyclone. Class 2 is issued so as to allow 12 hours of daylight before the occurrence of gusts of 120 km per hour. Class 3 is issued in time to allow 6 hours of daylight before the advent of 120 km of gusts per hour. Gusts, what is the meaning of gusts? Gusts mean very strong, very violent, the force of wind. So these are gusts. Class 4 is issued when gusts of 120 km per hour have occurred and are expected to continue. Termination meaning there is no longer any appreciable danger of gusts exceeding 120 km per hour. So you are going to read this. It is very important for you to know. I hope you'll be able to answer the question now that you know about the other warnings when other warnings are issued, class 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's move on to ways how cyclones affect our islands, Mauritius and Rodrigues. So ways, meaning there are always negative impacts. Crops are destroyed, trees are damaged and fall on the road. Electrical lines, water pipes are damaged. Stagnant water can cause spread of diseases. Infrastructure is destroyed. And people lose their lives. These are the ways how cyclones affect not only Mauritius and Rodrigues but any other countries. If you can think of other ideas, you will write down your other ideas in your copybook and while answering the question. Let us move on. Page 82. The activity continues. Take a look, page 82. We are going to discuss, you are going to write the answers after our discussion. Give some precautions that should be taken before the coming of a cyclone and during a cyclone. So you have the guidelines of the meteorological station. You will read that again. You will answer the question before the coming of a cyclone. So for example, what you can do before the coming of a cyclone, you are going to ensure that your house is in good condition. You're going to what about your trees? You're going to trim your trees because you do not want your trees to cause damage to your house for example, to your electricity lines. And then what do you have to do before? Yes, you have to prepare your emergency kit. What is emergency kit? You know, you need something which, if ever something urgent happens, you know you have your emergency kit with you, which needs to consist of, for example, torch, candles, matches, water also, very important, your food. Emergency kit also, you need a radio to listen to the latest news. Then you need to have enough food, for example, flour, biscuits, cheese, because you will not be able to go outside. During a cyclone, what you need to do, you need to make sure your emergency kit is ready. You need to stay alert, to listen to bulletins on radio and television. You need also, you should already ensure that your windows and doors are secured. You should, very important, you should store sufficient amount of water. Why are people advised to boil water before drinking after the passage of a cyclone? So the answer is, what do you think? Because the water may be contaminated. If you're going to consume contaminated water, what may happen to you? You may have serious health problems, such as, comme on dit, gastro, yes, and other, for example, you may have diarrhea, on dit ça, gastrointestinal diseases, illness. So to prevent all of this, you are going to boil water. We are going to take a look at the following maps, which show the cyclone track that affected Mauritius. So you're going to see, for example, let us see in Mauritius, you have Daniela in December, Darius in January 2004, Olanda in February 1994, Carol in 1960, Gervais 1975 February, Dina January 2002, Claudette 1979. So all these are the cyclones that passed over Mauritius, and the months and the year. Now the next page 83, we are going to see the cyclones track that affected Rodrigues. Okay, in Rodrigues you have Carmen in December 1967, JC February 1973, Grace February 1963, Maud April 1962, Monica March 1968, Fabienne February 1972, Bella January 1991. Also you have Celine 2 February 1979. All these are cyclones which passed over Mauritius. Over Rodrigues. You have a map 1, page 82, which shows the cyclones that affected Mauritius. Now take a look below. You have the table which you need to complete. Very easy. You'll have to track by yourself the number of cyclones shown in the map for Mauritius and Rodrigues. For example, let's take for Mauritius in December. You have Daniela and Claudette, which means 2 cyclones in December. You're going to write down the number of cyclones. You're going to count and write down. Okay, so after completing this exercise, discuss your conclusions. What have you concluded? You will see after having written the answers. As you can see in maps 1 and 2, cyclones in our region follow the same pattern. They usually have a curved track. Most of the times they are formed in the northeast of our islands in a belt around 10 to 15 degrees south. They then usually move in a south or southwesterly direction, and they may affect our islands. They finally end their path by moving towards the south or southeast and weaken in the cooler seas around 25 and 30 degrees Celsius. Okay. Why do the cyclonic season happen between the 1st of November to the 15th of May? November to May. So you have November, December, January, February, March. These are all summer months. Summer meaning heat, very hot weather. So you remember we talked about how tropical cyclones are formed. They are formed over the ocean in summer. In summer over the ocean when the temperature of the sea is very high. So that's why the cyclonic season in Mauritius covers the period between the 1st of November to 15th of May, because these are summer months. Okay, so that's all for today. Our class ends here. You are going to note down your homework. Page 81, 82, 83, which we just did, we just discussed. And very important to note down important notes from your red book on natural hazards. For our next class, we are going to study how to track a cyclone. Okay, so you can already take a look on page 84. You're going to prepare, read and prepare. That's all for today. Study well. Take care and bye-bye.